All right, hello world. We are live. This is the Plants vs. Zombies dev team speaking. My name is Jeff Shaw. I'm the level designer on Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, and I'm joined by the best player in our office.
Hi, I'm Jason Gertzen. I'm one of the testers.
Jason is one of our testers. He's part of our QA team, sort of the, I don't know, what would you say your role is?
Well, part of it's been coordinating our testers over in Romania, but also just looking at the character balance and giving feedback about them to the designers. So, got a lot of experience looking at these guys.
Right, you've been pretty good at giving myself and Fox feedback on some of the weapons. So I think today what we're going to look at is we're going to just go through the core 8 zombies, the sort of the default zombies, the core 8 characters, the default characters. So we have 4 plants we're going to look at and 4 zombies we're going to look at.
Right.
And we're going to talk about just some sort of tips and tricks and skills that we've both kind of picked up while playing the characters, and should help give you guys a leg up on some of your opposition. So what do you think we should play?
Well, I've got Gardens and Graveyards selected here. I think it's the most well-rounded mode for getting to see all the different characters in different situations. Some of the modes don't cater to all of the characters quite as well as GNG does. So
okay, yeah, that's a good point. So let's just jump into GNG.
See what we can find.
GNG was actually the first mode we built out, and it was kind of the ideal mode for this game.
What the characters were designed for.
Yeah, basically what the characters were originally designed for, sort of offense, defense, kind of asymmetric game modes. So
why you see the plants tending to have stationary defensive abilities and the zombies more movement skills and offensive abilities.
That's right. We will be answering a couple questions. I'll be monitoring the chat a little bit.
Trying to answer a few questions.
We'll answer appropriate questions and monitoring the chat a little bit. And I think Roland is on the other end monitoring the chat as well. And I think he said something to me earlier about giving away codes. I don't know what that's about, but
Don't put him on the spot.
you guys might have to bug him.
Okay, so looks like they've put me on the zombie team, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the scientist.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the scientist because nobody on my team is a scientist yet, and it's usually a good thing to fill holes like that when your team's not got any healers. It's good to have one. Because there aren't any other scientists, I'm going to try to stick with my team so that I can offer them healing. If you already have a bunch, though, the scientist is really good at getting in behind the enemies and sneaking around behind them and sort of ruffling their feathers and getting them away from the gardens. So let's put down a healing station here for that engineer.
Are you using the default healing station, or is that the?
Yeah, I've just got the default one. I should actually switch it up now that we've released just today all of the Cheetos for everybody. Everybody's got access to that, and can maybe show that off too. The Chester healing station is really good. It heals really fast. So I like to use that one when I have it unlocked.
Oh, looks like we joined the game. We're not going to win.
Yeah, 0 seconds remaining. Made a big difference.
Oh, yeah, okay. So maybe the next time through, we should just look at the abilities and sort of pick the default abilities to start, and we'll kind of talk about them. So, yeah, the scientist is basically he's our sort of offensive scout healer, kind of. So he's really effective at close range. He's got sort of a shotgun on the close end of his gun.
That's the biggest thing to realize about him. A lot of new players you'll see will start shooting from long range with the scientist, and that's really not the right thing to do. He's absolutely devastating up close. He gets quick vanquishes. You get in there, you take out a few players, and then you can heal yourself up. If you try to use him at long range, though, you'll find you're not very effective, especially since there are quite a few really good ranged characters on the plants. And, and the scientist has so few hit points that you'll tend to lose those engagements.
Yeah, we gave him his Goo Blaster does have a range shot. There is a variant that's purely close range, and that's the Chemist variant.
2 of them now.
Do we
The
have 2
Chester
now?
as well, yeah.
Okay, Chester's also, so the Cheetos character is also close range and doesn't have an effective long range weapon. But we gave the Scientist sort of a long to mid range weapon on the end of it, just for players starting out. We didn't want your first Scientist class to be like purely close range.
So limited, yeah.
Yeah.
The pure close range ones are really effective up close, but you know, that's the trade-off, is that you don't get the ability to shoot down drones, for example. So when you're the Scientist, you have to watch out for drones. They're very difficult for you to take out.
Yeah, there's a lot of little interplay when you're picking what variant you want. Yeah, so one of the things I like to do with the Scientist is use his uses warp ability as an opener. But let's just talk about. So you're gonna go with the Cactus this time around?
Yeah. Okay, so I often start with the Cactus when jumping in at the beginning. It's good for setting up defenses right away, and it's good because you can engage the zombies right away, right as soon as you see them at maximum range. The one thing you want to be careful of, though, is the Cactus is not good up close, so you want to avoid going to the front lines. You want to avoid getting close to the zombies or letting them get close to you.
Right, so you like playing that kind of waiting game with the Cactus rather than being more offensive?
Well, it depends what you mean by like to. I'm not very patient, which is why I'm not a very good Chomper player. Some of the other guys on our team are a lot better at the Chomper than I am. But yeah, with the Cactus, if you try to get up close and personal, you'll lose. You won't win those fights. You have to play to the strength of the character.
Right. There are, we did give it, so there, you're going to get wrecked.
Yeah,
so
that's not going to go well.
If you get snuck up on an all-star, it's really hard to win that engagement. There are a couple tricks you can do to sort of get out of that. One of the ones I like to do is I'll plant my Tallnut battlement to sort of stop anyone that's coming close, and then just kind of panic and plant as many mines as I can and just try to jump away.
And see, there I'd left myself no option. I'd already planted all 3 mines. I didn't have any. That's a mistake. And another mistake was I was so busy looking at those guys at long range, I didn't even notice the all-star. So when you play the Cactus, you have to remember to stop and pay attention to your surroundings once in a while.
So you're using the garlic drone here. So this is kind of, the Cactus can launch this drone and sort of shoot rain fire from above. It's also got a ability called the Corn Strike, which is really good for clearing out the capture garden.
Also, what I just did there, the teleporter and the things protecting at the turrets.
Yeah.
It's very useful. If the zombies have that teleporter up, they have an advantage. And so as a Cactus, you're very effective at taking it out without risking yourself.
That's actually a really good point. That's one of the major roles of the Cactus. Like, yeah, the Cactus is the sniper class, but the Cactus is also sort of the anti-engineer class if you use the drones. So it's like Jason was saying, it's very effective. The drone is very, very effective taking out a teleporter, and vice versa, the engineer is actually very ineffective at taking out a drone. So it sort of comes down to this sort of like little battle where if it's an engineer versus a garlic drone, it's really difficult for the engineer to win it unless he's a mechanic or another variant with a bit
I like the
more of a
mechanic a
spread
lot
shot.
for that reason. It feels, whoa, that was a nice
The long bomb?
Yeah, the long bomb. The mechanic I like because he has that versatility. What you're saying is right. The engineer has a really hard time shooting down those drones. So if the other team's got a lot of engineers, playing a Cactus is a really good way to stop them from being as devastating as they can be. When those engineers get up close into the garden, they're going to do a lot of damage. Alright, see if I can't get that teleporter down here. I need to fly around long enough for my Corn Strike to be ready, and we'll just drop it on.
Yeah, so the Corn Strike doesn't charge right away. You actually have to be flying your drone around for a little while. There you go, took it out, nice.
Take it out, and now let's see if I can't harass these guys.
They don't even notice you.
Yeah.
Like you're just
You gotta fly up and around like
little
that.
bee in their bonnet.
Oh, he got me.
That
Nice
guy
shot.
got you.
Yeah, that was a good shot. The All-Star, some of the variants of the All-Star shoot fairly straight, and they're really good at taking out the drones, but the default, you have to be careful with him because his bullets drop a lot when he shoots, and it can be difficult to hit the drone while it's moving. I didn't quite hit that guy. looks like he's taken care of. You're seeing a lot of the Chester characters today, of course, because they were just released to everybody. So you're going to see a lot of Chompers and Scientists, if what I was seeing earlier is any indication.
So do you usually, when you're playing the Cactus, do you like to hold on to one potato mine? Or do you
I
plant
like
all
to.
three?
I often forget to, but it's a good idea to keep one. Especially, you know, you can put down a tall nut and then put a potato mine behind it, and then the guys going after you might not realize what they're going into and they jump over it.
Yeah, another thing we found was doing sort of the reverse of that, whereas you put, like, if a Scientist is kind of charging you and he's about to warp at you,
right,
you put the mine down first, and then you put the tall nut,
yeah,
and the tall nut will actually stop his warp and sort of stop him, and he'll just be sitting directly on the mine. Oh man, that's a good coin strike.
Yeah, that's it.
That's gonna mop him up. Oh, look at that.
Okay, let's get... Yeah, took out the teleporter, which is the more important thing. Got a Chomper in there.
And zombies haven't even been in there yet. Oh, you got one guy's in there. You might get some time. Nope. It's really good. You got... The team might actually skunk them.
I'm wondering if some people quit. You sometimes see that the teams, you know, if the zombies are having trouble early on, that some people will quit or switch teams or whatever. I like to check and then just switch to the other team. And
you like to just balance it out.
Keep it balanced. Yeah, I don't have as much fun if one team's really.
I kind of do the same thing. Like if it feels lopsided, I like to just sort of switch teams and see how well I can do on the team that's getting beaten down.
You get that challenge.
Yeah. What are you on? Time 7. Wow.
It's nice of them to all look the other way.
Pompadour. Nice.
Styling. That's
they're all distracted by that healing station.
It's a popular customization option here in the studio, the Pompadour. You see it a lot.
I like the bling Pompadour.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
I don't play the Scientist much, but when I do, bling Pompadour.
I was not allowed to play the Scientist for a while. Scientist and the Peashooter.
Yeah, it's like you and Bacon, one of our world artists.
Kevin, yeah, we have a rivalry.
Jeez. That guy was like telling me the other night he put up like 30 kills in Team Vanquish and lost.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, I know.
What was the rest of his team
I
doing?
was like, what? How is that possible?
That was scary and stupid. And go running at a Scientist with a Cactus. See how I do? Yeah. Right.
Look at that.
He just ran away. I don't know where he went.
Wow,
Yeah,
first base.
That's
not
that's
quite a
wrap.
shutout, but very close.
You get a lot of points for that one in a hurry.
So we'll move on to another character after this. What's your favorite Cactus variant?
I actually, so the Fire Cactus was a little too good for a while, and so I didn't use it because I'd feel guilty. It was too good. Now it's been toned down. It's getting there. It's okay. I love using it though, just because at long range you get a couple of hits and they're still on fire, and so you can. It's kind of cheesy, but you can see the little ticks of damage going out of the guy. So when
Right.
you'll see people will take cover and then they'll start to peek again, and you can see the ticks of damage, so you know when they're about to peek and you can shoot. It's a nasty trick, but it gets a lot of kills.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it keeps track of your guy if the spotting icon isn't on him.
Otherwise, sure. I like the default Cactus.
Yeah?
Yeah, really good damage if you can get the headshots and you still have a good rate of fire. I know a lot of people like the camo Cactus for those really high damage headshots, but I prefer just a little bit less zoom, so it's more effective at closer range. I find with the camo Cactus, you need to stay way back. You
Yeah, he's not really semi-automatic. Most of the Cactus variants are semi-automatic, except for him. Yeah.
The Cactuses all in general have that good feel to them. The only one that's really different is the Bandit Cactus, which is actually totally usable up close. It feels kind of like a soldier. I mean, you can't rocket jump around and whatever, but you have that good automatic fire. I really enjoy using that one.
Yeah, she's got that burst shot. I remember when she first went in, it was really like rewarding to shoot just brown coats
Right.
with that gun. So do you want to go for the scientist again?
Yeah, let's
check
actually
out
give
your
him a
abilities
fair,
here.
fair shake. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the cheetah
Okay.
healing station. Now you have the explodey balls, which are kind of like grenades that stick to the whatever they hit. It's really fun to either throw them at somebody and get that sticky kill, or you can stick it to your teammates and watch them run in and take somebody out. It's great to stick them to all-stars.
High level play.
High level play. There's also, it doesn't look like I have it unlocked, but he's got a healing ball he throws out, which is really useful if you're going to be up close and personal and getting in the thick of it. You can throw it out and heal yourself quickly without wasting your healing station. I don't have it unlocked, so I won't be able to show that off, but I like to take that often too.
Yeah, the big healing grenade was one of the things we were talking about. Like, how can we make him, a bit more on par with the Sunflower when it comes to healing? Like, if you want to be that healer player. So we gave him the big grenade ball that if you're close to it, you just get like tons of health back like instantaneously.
Right.
So.
And what I like about it is it allows you to heal yourself without using up the healing station that I like to save for healing teammates.
It's a good point. Yeah, it's more of a selfish kind of heal. You can just use it on yourself and if anyone else is close by, but it is that kind of quick self-heal. It's really, I find it's pretty effective in Team Vanquish. Not so much Gardens and Graveyards, but definitely Team Vanquish.
Yeah, that's right. I like the sticky grenades better in G&G because the plants are, well, it looks like my reviver died there. In G&G, you get a lot of plants stuck in one place, like in turret mode or just guarding one little area. And there I find the sticky grenades are really useful, so I have trouble giving them up.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to aim unless you're like a pro like myself. But I do, like, I agree. It's a lot easier just to kind of like throw it towards the capture zone and like and hope for someone to trip on it. Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, they're pretty hard to aim. I usually like throw them either like directly at the ground when someone's chasing me, or like at a wall when someone's chasing me. Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody's chasing you, you throw them at the wall in front of you, and then you kind of let them follow you around the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to make it. So this is showing off exactly the weakness of the Scientist. You have so few hit points that you die really quickly, and so if you do like I just did and you bite off more than you can chew, you pay for it really fast. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, are you the kind of player that burns his warp right away trying to get to the capture zone?
So no, I save my warps if possible. I'll save at least one. You know, you can use one to get closer, but you really want to save at least one in case you're in trouble to get away.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling everybody, and I try to tell myself that, but I just always end up burning them. Like, I know I need that warp, like, just in case I get in a really sticky situation. And just,
speaking of sticky situations.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't do that.
That's good. Now you got 2 targets. Easy peasy.
So what I'm doing right now is what I like to do with the Scientist is to not really go straight for the objective. I don't have the hit points to soak up damage like the All-Star does, so I just like to get in behind and hassle the plants away from the objective, keep them away from the objective, because they're busy, running from me or trying to kill me.
It's really running from me.
Yeah.
I think, can you get out of this? You got 1 warp left. Oh.
I didn't need it.
Wow.
He missed too many times.
Got him directly with that trapezoid. Look at that. Unreal. Cheesy cheetah giving you some heals.
Always healing. Always healing. And that's about as long as one of those is going to last.
That's pretty good.
But
I think the whole time you were kind of spawn killing them there, they were capturing the base behind you.
Right.
So.
That's exactly what I was going to point out, is you can look at how much our capture bar is filled up. Well, when half the plant team is nowhere near the objective, it gives the rest of your team a chance. You don't expect to survive, but you can do a bunch of damage and sort of keep the plants away from the garden.
It's kind of that's sort of how I play too. I like to sit just outside of the objective and just kind of wait for my moment. Like I don't like just running directly into the objective. like there's not a lot of success you're gonna have there, but if you're sort of on the outskirts waiting, you know, for that right moment.
You can do the same thing I'll show with the soldier. A lot of people take the soldier and run in, but, well, it's actually, I say the same thing, it's almost the opposite. Instead of going in behind the objective with the soldier, you can patiently wait. So I'll grab the soldier here and show what I'm talking about. Where's the teleporter? I think we have it up, yeah. So...
Rocket leap.
I've got rocket leap.
Got leap.
That's not gonna help.
Do you prefer the rocket jump over the leap?
It depends on the situation. In TDM, I like the leap just fine for getting around because I don't like camping in TDM.
Mm-hmm.
But in Gardens and Graveyards, getting up to a high spot where you can shoot at the plants from far away is really helpful. It helps your team a lot. You can just clear out the plants. The soldier is really accurate and he does decent damage at medium range. So there's no need to get up close. What you do is you get close enough that you can get onto the garden as soon as you need to, but then you wait until you see enough of your teammates pushing up and getting on the garden, and then you just jump in there and get there right away. You have a lot of mobility as the soldier, so you don't need to be the first one on the point. You can wait until the right opportunity. And while you're hanging back, you're picking off people, getting some kills, getting some vanquishes, and that helps your... Oh, I didn't see him there. That was silly. Anyway, you can just hang back, get a few vanquishes, clear out the defenses, and let your teammates push up before you get on the point. Unless you get eaten by a chomper like that. Like I said, you're seeing a lot of the Chester chompers today. They, if I'm not mistaken, they after eating, they digest a little bit faster than other chompers, so they can start moving right away.
That's right. And I think last week when we were streaming, I think we were streaming last week, we were talking about like what the trade-off was, because every time we build a new character, we're going to give them something that's unique, but also a trade-off.
Right. You don't want them to just be better.
Yeah. So I think his trade-off, I can't remember correctly, but I think his trade-off was he just had less health or something like that.
Yeah. So with all the smoke we've thrown down, it's helpful, but it also means you don't get to see what's going on. I was a little nervous there. Do I push up or not?
Yeah. Not a lot of people know this, but the smoke grenade actually blocks sight from AI characters. So if the plants are defending the zone with a lot of like pots or AI deployables like the dark flower,
right,
smoke is an effective use at blocking their shots.
And those AI don't have a lot of hit points, and the smoke does decent damage to them as well. One of the challenges you get early on with the soldier is to vanquish plants with smoke. And the easiest way to do that is to just throw it at the pots. Ooh, I got away.
That's pretty nice. Nice moves there.
Lucky moves there. Felt rumbling. I thought it was a chomper coming after me. It was the engineer down there. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get on the objective yet. There are a bunch of guys. Didn't help. I had no hit points. But when you see that many plants jumping onto the objective, you're just going to die immediately. So you need to clear them out first. I keep forgetting to switch to the...
It's also, like, if you want to sort of create this sort of illusion of teamwork with like random people you're playing with, one of the ways to do it is actually just by like sitting by the zone like
right,
you're doing. Like you wait until some of your teammates have joined up with you, right? Because what eventually happens is once a lot of the players on your team are getting vanquished, they start to come out in a line.
Right.
Right? And
so
the
you end up
best
with one after the other,
exactly,
like lemmings, yeah.
They come out in this conga line, and the best way to actually take the objective is with, you know, multiple people at once, right? So
you don't want to do it one at a time.
So it's really effective to actually just like get close to the zone and wait until there's like an opportune moment to jump in there and get some time. And like another thing that not a lot of people, I don't think you have many engineers on your team. I didn't see too many, but not a lot of people do this, and it's a pretty useful tactic, and we built it into the game for a reason. But the engineer has his own drone, right? and his drone has the pylon bomb airstrike. So
Right.
anytime you see the capture zone with more than like 2 plants in it,
Yeah.
you fire that drone off. Just wait until you get your pylon bomb and fly it in the air and drop it on the zone, and like you're guaranteed to sort of reset the zone. It's kind of the capture zone clear. So you get rid of spike weeds, you get rid of barricades, you get rid of players, you get rid of potato mines, like anything that's just starting to clump up that zone. And that's a good way to get people into the zone.
That's a good point. I often forget to use the drone on the engineer. I jump onto the jackhammer and I go running in, but like the Cactus, that drone is a really effective tool. You can often just spawn, use the drone, clear it out, and then jump on the jackhammer.
Yeah.
And the jackhammer allows you to make up lost time. If you've taken all that time on the drone, you're still far back at your deploy.
But he's rooted. Why don't you... Oh, I was gonna say use the ZPG, but the ZPG is it's basically the anti-root weapon. So if you see like a rooted Peashooter or a rooted Sunflower, and they're not looking at you, it's best you just use your ZPG. The amount of travel time versus the amount of time to actually exit the route is a bit quicker. So you can usually hit them with the
Even
ZPG.
if they see it coming, you often will still get the hit.
Yeah, the only downside is if they see you, usually it's a trade. Usually you get each other.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to use that when they're unaware.
The last little play there that just happened, I wanted to point out the soldier teammate of mine who spent his time dancing to taunt the Chomper rather than reviving me. Thanks, guy. You're the best.
It's a dance party out there.
Dance party.
So if you're just joining us, my name is Jeff Shaw. I'm a level designer on Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, responsible for a lot of the Team Deathmatch, Team Vanquish levels, and sort of responsible for creating the Garden Ops mode. And today I'm joined by one of our, QA ninjas.
QA ninjas.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Jason Gertzen. I've been a QA tester here at EA for a while.
For a while.
A while, 8 years.
8 years, wow.
Yeah.
You've been here way longer than I have. 8 years, jeez. That's a long time.
That's a long time.
Well, now, were you testing?
I was on
testing.
FIFA.
Okay, not FIFA. You were on FIFA. I was gonna say, were you testing Plants vs Zombies for 8 years? But
I don't think Plants vs Zombies has existed for 8 years.
no, it hasn't. It hasn't. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to remember to change my.
You gonna switch it up?
Swing.
Okay.
There we go. Show off the multi-rocket. I don't use it very often, but it's fun too. After this, we'll switch to the engineer, but I just wanted to show off what I was talking about here with the soldier being able to get up places really quick and use that to his advantage. The little known tip that when you rocket jump.
There you go. You got him.
Oh,
you see, that's the time you switch to the multi-rocket.
Yeah.
You totally screwed that opportunity up.
It's all right. I still got him. The rocket jump, when you do it, if you do it at a bit of an angle, you can actually go a little further and a little faster. I'll show that here when I jump. You can kind of go off at an angle like that, and you go just a little bit further, a little bit faster. You can get places you otherwise wouldn't be able to.
That's high-level play.
Wow.
That is high-level play. One of the things I like to do with the rocket jump is, like, when you're on the roof like that, is actually sort of preload it. So you jump in the air, you jump off the roof, and then you use it right before you hit the ground.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
You get a little bit more distance that way as well.
All right, so we've got a couple engineers. That's all right.
Nice hat.
One more. Thank you.
Yeah.
One more doesn't hurt. So that objective was pretty clogged. So here's a chance to do exactly what you suggested.
Only got one guy in there. There's 2 now.
Yeah, they're all behind it.
There you go. Oh, that looks good. Man, those damage numbers just everywhere.
Oh, yeah, that's what you get for flying right at a cactus. I don't know if we can make it, but we have a good chance of it now. So the engineer's jackhammer is not just useful for transportation, but as you'll see right here, you can ram into guys and make their lives miserable. Also, if he tries to...
Oh, he was waiting for you. Oh, good job. Good thing you still had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're using the jackhammer, so the engineer is, like, just to reiterate, the engineer is basically the anti-chomper.
He's the anti-chomper
right?
of the game, for sure.
So he's got the jackhammer that you can use as a speed boost. You can use it to build that teleporter a little bit quicker. You can still shoot on it. You can use it to run players over. But if you're defending yourself from a chomper, it's best to be on the jackhammer because if he gets you with the full chomp, with the actual burrow chomp or the backstab chomp, he'll just eat the jackhammer.
Right.
And then you sort of have this moment where the chomper is digesting your jackhammer and you can kind of take him out.
Yeah, he's very vulnerable at that point.
Yeah.
So we managed to actually take that objective through sheer force of will. Now we get to move on. I got really lucky there. At one point, the chomper accidentally ate one of the brown coats instead of me. I'm sure he wasn't very happy about that. Player zombies taste better.
A poor sunflower.
Yeah, picking on a poor sunflower.
Jeez. Just mowing through tables.
Yeah, I don't know who lives here, but they should probably get insurance.
I think all the residents have fled. There's too many zombies in the area.
Alright, so let's see what we've got set up. I mean, the other thing about the drone is that, this is true of the Cactus too, I said you don't like to run in on the Cactus because you want to stay at long range. With the Engineer, you do want to get up close, but since the plants are defending, you want to know what you're getting yourself into. And the drone can be kind of reconnaissance like that. You get up, see where they are, and then move in.
The Engineer is my class. That's who I play all the time.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I really like using the stun grenade as an opener. I think it's like one of the best openers in the game because you can, anyone unsuspecting or a chomp or whatever, you always have that in your back pocket and you can kind of get 2 to 3 good criticals in if you have the right aim. So
yeah, once they're stationary, it's really easy to get those direct hits. And with the Engineer, if you're not getting direct hits, you're really minimizing your damage. With the exception of the Plumber. The Plumber's really good at the area effect damage.
What'd you get hit by there?
It just his orange burst. I got
okay.
too anxious and ran in there with low health. But yeah, I noticed you play the Engineer quite a bit. The Engineer and I think the Soldier too, right? You like the Soldier?
I do, yeah. I used to like what's his name? The Camel Ranger a lot.
Yeah.
That was kind of my class when we were developing the game. That's the guy I kind of stuck with. But since then I kind of moved. I like the sort of the slow, big damage shots. So
right.
I kind of moved to the Tank Soldier.
Get that really satisfying thunk.
Yeah.
Thunk. See if I can stun him out of his hyper.
There you go. 1, 2. Nice. So you did 70 damage there. No chance.
Okay, so here's another thing about the Engineer that's helpful is, regen in this game is interrupted if you're using abilities and attacking. But you can go into your drone, and that doesn't count, so you can actually regen your health while in your drone. Now I'm going to hide because there's a Chomper close.
That's high-level play.
High-level play. It's
yeah.
things QA testers notice.
Oh yeah, yeah. The guys asked us. They were like, we want skills this time around. Jeff and Fox, they're not very good at this game. We need someone that knows high level play. And we immediately thought, well, Jason, he's the ninja. He knows the high level play.
Ninja getting out by the skin of his teeth there. All right, this is me being tricky.
Jump reviving?
Yeah, you can jump revive. So that's combining 2 little tricks. One is that if you are not moving, not using your movement sticks, and you keep jumping, you'll keep going in the same direction that you were.
That's beyond high level play. Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. Little known Little known glitch there.
Alright, let's take out these doors and see what we got. So there are two things going on with reviving. When you revive, you're allowed to shoot. It doesn't prevent you from using... It prevents you from using abilities, but you can still shoot. And so what I like to do when I'm reviving, and it'd be a bit weird to describe this, but instead of holding the circle button with my right thumb, I'll actually hold it with my left thumb.
Oh, your left thumb.
I move across with the left thumb and hold it down so that my right hand is still on my aim and,
so
and
you
trigger.
move your entire hand.
Yeah, I move my hand.
Instead of doing what's known as the claw.
The claw, yeah.
You move your... That's crazy.
I find it way more comfortable.
I think you should learn how to claw.
It's funny because when I play on PC, Erwin makes fun of me for using a claw grip on the mouse. It's only
because you use you
like
slide.
This, you do this.
Yeah, that, right? Like you slide your pointer finger to circle, and then your middle finger goes onto your trigger.
But so in Battlefield, you can move while you're planting the objective, and so there you have to use the claw. But in this game, you're rooted while you're reviving, so you can't do anything with your left hand anyway.
I guess so. That just seems crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so we've been streaming for about 40 minutes here. So I'm actually going to start paying attention to the chat. So if anybody has questions, I guess Jason will take any of the high-level, skill-oriented questions. And if you guys have any questions about the game, we can't really discuss any future content or anything like that.
But we can say that it's all going to be great, like really good.
If it exists. If it exists. But I can talk about the game, so if you guys have any questions about the game and the state that it's in right now, just fire away. Okay, that was actually a good question. So what do you think the best class is for a beginner?
The best class for a beginner. So on the plant team, I would say the sunflower immediately, because you get to follow other people around, just lock on with the heal beam, and see how other people play, see what they're doing, see where they're going. You get to learn the maps by following players who already know what they're doing. On the zombie team, I'd say, again, like I was showing with the soldier, where you're not needing to get right up close to the enemies, where you have to already know what you're doing and be good. You can kind of hang back and shoot from a little further away. I think also the soldier most resembles other first-person shooters or third-person shooters people will have played, and so they'll probably feel more comfortable with the soldier right out of the gate.
Okay, so you think sunflower if you're a beginner,
sunflower,
and soldier if you're a beginner. That's pretty good. I think when I was first starting out, I kind of gravitated towards the Chomper.
The Chomper, yeah.
Yeah, the Chomper is like, you are usually, if you're playing all right, you're guaranteed at least like one kill most of the time, or sorry, one vanquish. I'm just gonna say kill, whatever. And you're usually able to get one. Even it's most of the time too. It's gonna be a trade, right? So you'll get one, and then
somebody will
you'll die, right?
So there's a way to minimize that, and I'm not very good at it because I have no patience. But what the Chomper does best is protect the garden. So you can stick around, stay at the garden, don't get yourself too deep, don't go in where there are a whole bunch of zombies. Just wait for them, let them come to you. It takes patience. You're sitting there. Sometimes you're not getting a lot of action, but when you get a vanquish, you're surrounded by teammates instead of enemies, and so you'll be much more likely to survive. One thing about the Chomper is you don't have to get you don't have to go in behind and get those one-shot kills. You can just spam the trigger from the front and do damage. Sometimes that's the right thing to do. Sometimes you don't want to make yourself exposed for a long time by getting the full kill like I just did there. When you do that, you see how slow I am, and I'm waiting, digesting. That's something that you need to do carefully. You need to look at your surroundings, see whether you're safe, because if you're surrounded by enemies, you'll just get vanquished yourself right away. So if there are a bunch of enemies around, try to just hit people from the front and not expose yourself unnecessarily.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's kind of how you want to play garden ops with any chomper that's a melee-based chomper, you kind of want to bite from the front if the enemy doesn't have a lot of health, right? You don't want to get stuck digesting a brown coat for 10 seconds or whatever.
I just blatantly stole that other chomper's vanquish there. He gooped the guy.
It's cheese goop.
Yeah, cheesy goop. Makes them taste better.
Mm-hmm. It does, actually.
So you can see I'm staying, where I'm staying right here is up there. There are a lot of zombies. And I'm going to try to stay out of sight. I'm a big target. I'm just going to wait here and let them come to me. Oops.
I think I saw another question here. I kind of lost it. Let me just try to find it here. Okay, what is the greatest offensive class?
Well, that's gonna be a tough. Well, let's give one for each side.
All right, you pick plant. Which plant do you think is the best when it comes to
running in there and doing damage? I would say the Peashooter is the clear winner.
That's the obvious choice.
Especially the Agent P. But a well-used Cactus does a lot of damage. It's doing it from far away, so it feels a little bit more passive, a little more defensive.
Passive offensive.
Yeah, the best offense is a good defense.
There you go.
Somebody said that the other way around.
Offensive, I think. Offensive for the zombies.
Is that guy right there?
You think the All-Star?
Yeah.
I like to avoid the All-Star because the All-Star is basically chomper bait.
That's true.
The All-Star is great when you're starting out, but he is the most difficult to get away from chompers. In my opinion, I think for zombies, I think the best offensive class is the mechanic.
The mechanic.
Or the electrician.
Yeah.
Those are my two, but I mean, I'm leaning towards engineer here. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. The engineer gets in close really fast. He's got the stun grenade. He does a ton of damage. The reason I say the All-Star is because, especially just the plain Jane default All-Star, he does a ton of damage with the cannon at all ranges. He's effective at medium range. If you can control the shots, it's difficult to do, but once you learn it, he's really good. But up close, he dishes out a ton of damage. He's got the exploding imp and the tackle that both do a ton of damage really quickly. So the All-Star is the one I'm most afraid of if he's close to me.
Have you mastered the long bomb imp yet?
No. I don't have it unlocked at home, so I don't have very much practice with it. Ashton, one of the other testers here, is the absolute master. If he's playing an All-Star, you are not safe. It doesn't matter where you are. He's amazing.
Yeah, that long bomb, I don't think, when Chris was building it, I don't think he realized how devastating it would be when in the hands of a skilled player.
What a great and terrible weapon it was going to be.
It's pretty good.
It's nasty, yep. Especially for the poor sunflowers out there. It's going to one-shot you every time. Devastating.
Yeah. You can, though, you can kind of get away from it. Like, if you're walking, you just walk towards the All-Star that kind of kicked it at you, and you can get under it.
So what I've done here as the Chomper, I've just burrowed, and because I'm not moving, my burrow time's lasting longer. The reason I did this, I had 10 health, and by burrowing, I was able to get like 35 health regen. It's a good way to get health back if you're in a pinch.
Just not moving.
Just stay put underground. Nobody can hurt you. I mean, well, unless there's an engineer nearby, and then if you've got 10 health, you're dead anyway.
Yeah, I used the burrow to. Oh, that guy got really high. I use the burrow to escape quite a bit, but I don't ever find myself actually standing still with it. But
it's also good for ambushing. You can stay put in on the grab. Oh, that was just unfortunate.
Someone got him. The screen door zombie's gonna get you.
Yeah, he is.
Getting shot at by a soldier.
That was the riskiest revive. I did not deserve to survive that.
You wearing the fat princess wig?
I am wearing the fat princess wig.
I was like, wait a minute.
So another thing I'm doing here, the Chomper is all up close. It's not good at range, but you can use your goop at long range. And while you're not going to do a lot of damage with it, a stationary enemy at long range is much easier for the Peashooters and the Cactuses to hit. So if you're not doing anything else, just look for people that you can hit with your goop. Or miss with your goop.
Someone in the chat's asking what programming languages we use.
Me, none.
Yeah? I do a lot of scripting. It's visual scripting. If anyone understands that, that's what it is. I don't know. I can't, like, I'm not the best at answering that. I know the UI guys used a lot of ActionScript, which is, you know, it's Flash-based, and I think they were using C or something. I don't know.
C or something.
You know, it's one of the C's. Sharp or plus, I don't know.
You picked a great question that we could answer really well.
I don't know. 3 people asked it, so I figured, you know, give the crowd what they want.
We could say that it is the Frostbite engine.
That's right. Yeah, the game was made using Frostbite, the same engine as Battlefield, Need for Speed: The Run, the upcoming Mirror's Edge.
Oh, I can't wait for that one.
It's gonna be nice. Okay. What is the best planted pot?
Well, it depends on the situation. So you could talk about co-op, you could talk about gardens and graveyards, and also they're good in combination, but some that are really effective, the Scaredy Shroom does a lot of damage at long range. It's like a sniper. So I really like that one. You can lay it down and sort of watch it. It's always looking for enemies, and you can watch to see where it shoots, and that lets you know somebody's coming. Mm-hmm. It's also nice because when the enemies get close, it hides, so it doesn't take a lot of damage, and so it can survive where other pots wouldn't.
Yeah, it's good at pulling aggro from zombies and garden ops for sure. And we did give it the option, like it basically lands criticals as often as it can. I think it's got like a 90% chance to land criticals.
Now, there are others like the Doom Shroom, which a well-placed Doom Shroom in gardens and graveyards will catch several zombies by surprise, killing them instantly, and until they respawn and come back knowing where it is, it's just going to sit there and rake in a few vanquishes for you. I quite like using those in gardens and graveyards. Mm-hmm. The other one in garden ops that I like is the Goop Shroom. It tends to make the bosses a little easier by slowing them down and preventing them from using some of their abilities for a short time.
Yeah, the Goop Shroom is one of the most underrated pots I think we have.
It doesn't do any damage, and so I think people...
Well, it does goop damage. So it does damage over time, but yeah, it doesn't. I don't believe it does any impact damage.
Wow, we're pushing up pretty quickly already.
So you have what are you using here? You got the Imp Hunt, the Ultra Tackle.
The Ultra Tackle, yeah, okay. Devastating tackle. So the Ultra Tackle is just like the regular. It just does a bit more damage and has a much longer cooldown.
I think it has a little bit of a slower wind-up or something, doesn't it? Oh, no, maybe not. I thought it did. Might have had that when we were
yeah, it was one of the early
prototyping
prototypes of it, yeah. And it ended up being really hard to use. I'm not going to make it out of that one.
Electric Spray.
Yeah, the electric Chomper is in a pretty good place now. For a while there, he was a little weaker, but now I like using him, especially in garden ops when you've got big crowds.
Yeah, a lot of people shy away from the Chomper in garden ops, but he's definitely...
They've gotten a lot better.
He's definitely one of the best characters to use now, yeah. It's just like when a boss shows up, it's kind of, you're sort of on your own, and it's really difficult.
Well, it depends. Some of the bosses you can, as a Chomper, you're maybe not doing all the damage, but it can be really... I'm going to just go ahead and tackle. You can save your teammates with the Chomper, where if the Yeti's being a pain, you can give people a bit of respite by going and chomping him. It's not going to do any damage. He's going to get away, but in the meantime, he's not lobbing snowballs and ice storms at your teammates.
Yeah, you're kind of taking the pressure off.
Yep. Yeah. Give a chance for a revive.
That's pretty much his role against bosses in garden ops. Is sort of he plays support when a boss comes around, so it kind of changes it up. So he's got the goop to slow them down, and he's got the chomp. All of the bosses have an anti-chomp, which is just like a chomp escape. So if try to chomp them from below, they jump out of the way.
There's one other thing, which is if you're really careful with the Gargantuar, you can dodge his big hammer attack. You can circle around behind him while he's doing it and avoid the damage. And so if you do that, and you're just spamming Chomp with the Chomper, you can actually do decent damage to the Gargantuar and come out of it alive. You just have to be very careful.
Yeah, it's a risky game you're playing there.
Yes, it is.
Let's see. Any more questions?
Oops.
When did you guys first start working on the game? I joined the team about a year and maybe just over a year and a half ago. And they basically like sat me in a room and they were like, "Oh, okay, you're gonna make the E3 demo." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And they're like,
a while ago.
"Yeah." So that was about, I guess, yeah, that was like last year, right? So a year and a couple months ago. And before that, I think the game had been in development for a couple months. So I think it's been in development for about two and a half years now. We've been working on it.
So I've been on it just a little less than you. I think a year and a bit. Oh, that was close.
Yeah.
Let me get some health back here.
Ben Morrow asks, any tips for garden ops on crazy difficulty?
Yeah. You want to bring friends that you can trust. It's definitely not for the faint of heart, but make sure that you've saved up a lot of consumables. You're going to need them. Both self-revives and like not just any pot will do. You're going to want some of the ones like the Scaredy Shroom we talked about, like the the ice shroom is helpful at times and things like that. Grab the good, powerful potted plants, and make sure you've got a good balance of characters. You want at least one sunflower if you're playing on crazy. You need to be at full health as often as possible, and it's frustrating to have to use one of the potted plants to just be your healer, and especially since the zombies can kill that thing so quickly. It's just not reliable. So you want at least one sunflower. It's useful to have at least one chomper too for the goop, being able to slow zombies down and slow bosses down.
Yeah, being the guy that sort of designed that mode, I would recommend using the fire chomper if you're having trouble getting through crazy.
The fire chomper, really?
Yeah, the fire chomper is just like all around super effective at garden ops. I think he's probably
really
the best chomper to use.
Oh,
and the toxic chomper. The toxic chomper is also really effective.
And for the same reason, basically.
Yeah, I think we were having the best success with like the toxic pea as well.
Toxic pea is really good for clearing out the brown coats. Once you get up into fighting against the harder hitting, like the all-stars, or especially the scientists, are really scary and crazy. I find I love the Agent P. If you're somebody who can shoot accurately and get the headshots, the Agent P or the Law P are both incredibly effective. They dish out a ton of damage really quickly. Those are my go-tos for crazy difficulty.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're picking classes, there's a lot of other variables that come down to getting through crazy. I mean, it comes down to like base selection, map selection, like what are you comfortable with. It comes down to where you place your pots. Like you always want to have those really high damage dealing pots close to your garden, and have your heal pots away from the garden,
so that they're not making any of the AI angry.
Yeah, exactly. And then you want to put, you know, your Peashooters and your repeaters up front, and anything you can actually spare you want to put up front.
Right.
But you want to put like your really good pots close to the garden. And
as a sunflower, make sure you're healing those pots to keep them topped up, just like the other players.
You basically need, I mean, once you get past wave 4, I'd say you need all pots like at all times, or else you just get overwhelmed. So the pots are there to take the pressure off your garden. That's kind of why they're there. They deal a little bit of damage here and there, but they're most effective at letting you sort of bring the fight to the zombies because they'll be unaware of you shooting them if there's pots available.
Now the other thing is strategic use of self revives and team retries.
That's a good point. The self revive is you don't want to burn that.
And if you're on a wave where just because you got unlucky, maybe a bunch of zombies got through and did a ton of damage to your garden, and people start dying, don't use your self revives. Wait, use a team retry. Save the self revives for later when it's a better use of it, and you get that garden health back. So don't use self revives on a wave where you've already lost a ton of garden health.
Yeah. So I think we got about 3 minutes left, but let's just play one more round. So I think should be on the plants. So what class haven't you played yet? Did you play all 4?
I haven't played a sunflower.
Okay, well why don't you show everyone how to play a sunflower correctly?
How to survive as a sunflower? Yeah, okay. So the sunflowers are all very similar to each other in terms of what they can do. The Sun Pharaoh is a little different, the 3-shot burst, but overall they're fairly similar. So what you'll see here will carry through to the other variants. The most important thing is not using your healing pot, your healing flower, until you absolutely need it. Don't use it for healing teammates. Save it for when you need it.
You're a selfish healer.
No. You heal people just fine.
Oh, no way. You're so selfish.
Nah, I'll show you why. So, when you heal people like this, you're healing them very effectively, very quickly. And by saving your healing pot for yourself, you keep yourself alive to heal people later. A dead healer doesn't heal anybody.
Oh, looking at the chat, I think Ben Morrow won that one.
What's that?
Sorry, there was a question, what is the Camo Ranger's primary weapon called? First answer was surprise, which is not correct. I believe that was a typo. The second answer was a camo surprise. And the third and correct answer, I believe, was camo surprise. So I don't know. I don't know if Roland's looking at who answered quick, like the fastest, or who answered the most correctly. Camp surprise.
I don't know.
Roasting some weenies.
I think camp surprise, wins for the joke. Those camo cactuses are the worst. All right, so as the sunflower there, I got up a little too aggressive, and I paid for it. The sunflower is like the scientist, very weak in terms of hit points. You want to be very careful when playing with her.
Yeah, she's kind of a strange class. She's not the strongest offensively, really good at healing, but if you get in a good position and root and use the sunbeam attack, I think it's like the most powerful root attack we have in the game. So it's kind of this interesting play, which if she can stand still, she can do loads of damage, but you're putting yourself at risk.
Okay, it looks like they're pushing up on the Oh, you got a drone in the air.
Pineapple surprise is not the correct answer.
But it should be.
You think so?
No.
It sounds like a plant. Something a cactus should have.
I didn't make it.
Someone is asking, what is the highest point you can get to in a Gardens and Graveyards map?
I think the highest point...
No, don't tell them anything that, could put us in hot water here.
No, I think there's a water tower by the first objective of Main Street. And you can actually get all the way on top of it.
Can you get on top of that?
You can get on top of it.
Okay.
It's hard to do, and when you do it, you're pretty exposed. So as soon as people realize you're there, you're kind of dead. But you can get on top of it with very creative use of your rocket jump ability.
Some rocket jumping?
Yeah.
That's actually, that brings me to a good point, is one of the things we did with all the Gardens and Graveyards map is we kind of left them open. We left them very freeform. You can really go anywhere we kind of deemed was like, yeah, you know, you can go up there. We just sort of left it. And we did that because this is like a strictly player-driven game mode, and it's also driven by a clock. Sure. So if you want to go on a water tower and sit there all day, like do whatever you want, right? Like it doesn't matter.
There is the exception. At one point, you were able to get on top of the bridge in Cactus Canyon, but it was just too much. When Peashooters were up there,
I think we blocked that one off.
Yeah, we blocked that one. That was too much.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you can get up into high places.
Yeah, so vice versa in that in co-op levels, you know, in garden ops levels, we're very aware of all the places players can get to, and we need to make sure that, you know, the AI can reach you at all spots, and that's one of the biggest design challenges we have when we're designing AI, designing maps, designing game modes is where can I go and where can players hit me if I go there, basically. So that's a whole lot of my job is figuring out, like, if I go on this house, what are the consequences to me being up there? And that's...
It was also why both the Peashooter and Soldier are given the jump is for multiplayer. We want to make sure that both teams have access to those locations, and it's not going to be unfair.
Exactly. And if there's... so one of the things we do, too, is if there's any locations where the Soldier can get to, we do our best to say, okay, well, there's a route the Peashooter can take that might not be the most obvious, but it is there. So it usually requires like 1 or 2 jumps.
So there are other ways of getting some of the other characters up involving jumping on people's heads.
Stacking tall nuts.
Right. Well, you can't stack them anymore.
Oh, did we get rid of that?
Yeah, we fixed it. Oh. It was goofy. But the Scientist, my favorite is trying to get interesting places with the Scientist's warp ability. Again, on Main Street Rush, those houses around the first objective, you can get on top of every single one of them as a Scientist.
Tricky. I always find it like ridiculous when there's like a Chomper on a roof.
Right.
And you have like no idea how they got up there. You're like, what the heck? There's a Chomper on this roof. What is happening?
Often it's because they got punted by an all-star.
Yeah, or like, the all-star puts them up there and they're just like, oh, great, I'll just stay up here for the whole game. Yeah, that always scares me too. And like in some of the maps where you're attacking the objective and a Chomper just like launches off of a roof and you're like, what is happening? I think that actually at this base, the big house, the red roof, the Chomper can get to by jumping off of the tree house, I think. I don't remember if you can make that jump or not, but there's a lot of ninja opportunities if you're that kind of player.
Yeah, if you explore. Oh, an engineer. This is not going to end well for our hero. So, while we were talking, I actually had a chance to demonstrate the why you keep the healing pot for yourself, which is you can put it down preemptively in a fight. As soon as you see somebody getting close to you and about to attack you, you put the healing pot down and stand by it, and it effectively gives you, another 20 or 40 hit points for the fight, and so you can survive fights that you would otherwise lose. You can beat soldiers and even scientists if you're able to keep your shots on target with the use of your healing pot.
Yeah, it's a good sort of strategic option when you're getting overwhelmed. I use that in garden ops all the time too.
The other thing is,
if you're getting swarmed, you just throw it down and the AI kind of, the zombies sort of gravitate towards your pot a little bit.
Because it's getting the healing aggro.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go into your sunbeam form, you can put the healing pot down beside you first. Now it won't save you from a ZPG, but if somebody's taking random shots at you, it'll help you soak up that damage. This is sketchy.
Yeah, you're right by that teleporter. That sprint tackle's coming. Oh, he didn't even use it.
He didn't need it. That's what I mean about the All-Star being so offensive, is when he's close to you, you're dead. If he's able to aim at all, you're in trouble. All right, let's see if we can. This garden, in my opinion, is where the plants make their stand on this map. You need to stay close to this garden and protect it at all costs, because the other ones after are a little bit more difficult to protect.
Have we started making the maple syrup Canada snow map yet? You know, it's been in development. It's been prototyped, but you know, we found it was too sticky, and you know, it's just hard to walk around in all that syrup. So unfortunately, it had to get cut. But you know, we'll see. Maybe, you know, if the fans want it, maybe someone out there can make me develop a maple syrup map.
Maple syrup map. That's.
It was too,
disgusting.
you know, it was too sticky. Yeah, and it just got caramelized over time. So.
That is so gross.
Yeah, I don't know, cause that. Sorry, just to reiterate, that was actually someone had asked, I think Justin, that a couple streams back. Like, you guys should make a maple syrup Canada map. Maple syrup Canada snow map. So frozen maple syrup.
Snow map would be neat to see.
Look at that guy. Just a happy clam.
I love that mask.
Yeah.
The welly mask. Looks great. Some of the customization options in this game are amazing. I've been working on it for a long time now. We've been seeing these things for ages, and yet still somebody will find a combination that makes me laugh.
Yeah, I know. You'll get vanquished by someone, and it'll go to the camera, and they'll just be wearing like the most ridiculous thing ever.
It's one of the things that I really love about the game is that, you know, you play Battlefield or whatever, and you can get frustrated when you're getting beat up. But when you get vanquished by a scientist wearing, you know, with a dolphin gun and a shark on his head and whatever, it's hard to take it too seriously.
Yeah, that's, you know, well, the whole idea behind it is when you get knocked out, we don't want to like send you away on a low. We want to give you something for that, and if that something is just you looking at, you know, the most goofiest character like someone could fathom, then, you know, that's gonna be it. Oh, get him! He's wearing a bicycle helmet. No chance. Chomper got him. So let's talk about the sunflower here. What's your favorite sunflower variant?
So my favorite sunflower variant is probably the dark sunflower, the
shadow flower.
The shadow flower. It just does the most damage, but it does the most damage on direct hits and like crits. So you have to be really accurate with her. The alternative is the fire flower, who is at least as good, if not better, because you're getting that burn damage. So I think she's the best sunflower at long range. If you're going to be shooting guys at long range, using the fire flower is the best.
The fire flower.
Yeah.
The fire flower is my favorite to play in co-op. I choose the oh god, what did we call it? Where did we end up shipping it? The Egyptian sunflower.
The Sunpharaoh.
The Sunpharaoh, yes. Yeah, I really like the burst shot.
Yeah, it's
because that's kind of my style of play, is like the precision weapon. So
it takes a little getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's very damaging. Again, if you can aim for the headshots to get those criticals, you do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's difficult. Like on a moving target, you really have to lead, and leading can be pretty difficult for some players. But on like stationary targets, you just kind of chew them up. Not the best imp kick from that guy there. Oh, come on.
Yeah, that's the ultra tackle on the sunflower. So I was hiding like a coward. So right now I'm not being very effective because I'm all by myself. I gotta find somebody to heal.
Yeah, if you're looking to generate coins as well, like the sunflower is one of the ways to do that. If you're playing
one of the best characters for coins.
Yeah, if you're playing sort of the heal role, but the return of that is like if you have a team filled with sunflowers, it's gonna be really difficult to win.
Yeah.
So
We actually did that once in a play session. We thought we'd be smart, and we coordinated to all have sunflowers, and it was hilarious for the first few vanquishes until the opponents came back with soldiers and started throwing ZPGs at us, and it did not end well.
Yeah, the sunflower, in a group, sunflowers are pretty devastating, but if they're like your entire offensive force, you're not going to do the best.
That's right. Just being able to heal each other is so... Look at how many chompers we have.
Yeah. So the rare Cheetos Chomper not becoming so rare anymore. Everyone wants those Cheetos.
Yeah, we couldn't hold it.
I do remember in development when we were playing like a Team Vanquish match on like Suburbia, and there was like 4 or 5 sunflowers sitting on the road, just all healing each other. Yeah. And I was like, I was freaking out because I was like, that is the best strategy in the world. Like, how do you stop that? And then
answer was the plumber.
Yeah, well, you know, the engineer is the answer.
Raining AoE and
yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. I remember that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how we always find out, like, we find these things like, oh, that's, you know, that's the best strategy in the game, and it's like, well, no, because you can do this to counter it. And it's like, oh, yeah, that was
before the engineer had the cone strike too. So now you'd have that as another option.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That was a long time ago. Yeah, I was really happy when the engineer was given the cone strike as sort of the drone, I should say, as a counterbalance to the Cactus drone.
Yeah, it was a little weird just having one drone in the game.
Especially since with the zombies being the attackers, as I mentioned earlier, it's really nice to have that ability to go in and scout without putting yourself at risk. Oh, that was dumb.
You're doing pretty well as a sunflower, I think. From what I'm not really watching, I'm not really paying attention, but it looks like you're doing well.
I really enjoy playing the sunflower. I play it a lot at home. Wow. Her,
yes. Let's see if there's any more questions. I think Gary's in the stream as well, dropping some codes.
Oh, I see they're flanking around the other side. I'm going to go help out. This objective's pretty tricky to defend. The zombies can just come from all over the place.
Yeah, it's weird too, because I don't, usually when I play this objective, I don't see a lot of people using the big house at the back.
Right.
Which is kind of weird. Everyone just sort of like clumps around the zone.
So that's one thing I didn't mention about, just as a general strategy, when playing the plants, you need to stay close to the objective. I mean, it's okay for a couple of players to venture out and harass the zombies in their spawn, or especially to try to take out the teleporter. It's very important. But for the most part, you need to be near the objective, because as long as you have, yeah, that was bound to happen. As long as you have more people on the objective than the zombies, they can't advance. That being said, you don't want to literally be standing in the circle, because then you make yourself vulnerable to the engineers, the cone strikes. But just be close enough to be able to step on it right away if you need to add a body to counter the number of zombies on it. Plants do very well when they stick together. The sunflower's healing especially makes them effective. The sunflower is generally a better healer than the scientist. She doesn't do as much damage, but she's a better healer. Lucky there.
Everyone's just talking about codes.
Codes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just watching. You're on a streak here.
Saved by these chompers. Oh, that's
Oh,
not gonna.
no. Cheese blasted. Let's see if they can take it. There's 2 in the zone. Oh, I think that's it.
We held it.
Yeah.
Right on. I love that marine biologist. He looks amazing. I don't know who was responsible for the art of that character, but they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. Well, we were gonna play one more. I don't know. It's Friday. Do you want to play another one? Do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna play
do
one
this all
more. Show off the zombies. Do you maybe want to get out of Gardens and Graveyards and just
Sure.
play like? Maybe play.
Suburbanation or something?
Yeah. Well.
Nah, that's a bit.
I think
We'll just
we're-
go mixed modes.
Yeah. Jump in a mix.
Can't decide, let the game decide for me. I like mixed modes. A little bit smaller now with the 8v8. It's really, it condenses things a little bit. You have to stick together and play as a team, but it's good.
Well, you just cycle through here, see what we have. So you got mixed, classic. What else? Gnome bomb.
I like some Gnome Bomb. Why don't we play Gnome Bomb?
Vanquish confirmed. Welcome, Matt.
Yeah, let's play some Gnome Bomb.
You gonna go Gnome bomb?
I like Gnome.
Okay.
Crazy little gnomes. I actually get excited when I unlock the gnome customization for the cactus. I love the little gnome arms. It looks hilarious.
A lot of gnomes
A lot
getting
of gnomes
in
in
the
this
game.
game.
That's thanks to our creative director Justin Weeb.
He likes garden gnomes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think this mode originally was just supposed to be like a. It was just gonna be like a bomb or something
Justin's
like
mode.
that, like TNT or something, and Justin was like, "Well, you better make it a gnome." Not enough gnomes in the game. But you know, gardens. So why not have gnomes?
All right, I haven't played a lot as a Peashooter. Let's give the old classic Peashooter a go. So the Peashooter, like the soldier, is able to get up on rooftops, which is even more important for the Peashooter because at least the basic Peashooter has the splash damage, which means you do a little bit of damage on a miss. Now you can just aim at people's feet to ensure that you're getting that damage. But if you're on a rooftop, it's really easy because if you're aiming at them and you miss by a little bit, you're going to get that splash damage.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that's kind of the strategy with the Peashooter is you want to be elevated, which is why the hyper, like why he has the ability like the hyper and the high jump. Those are because with the indirect kind of damage, like the splash damage, you want to be shooting downwards so you can make contact with the ground all the time. So that's pretty much the way to play any splash damage Peashooter. Like there is the you know, the Agent P and the Law P, and those guys are more direct damage, more precision damage, and being elevated doesn't matter as much. But
I mean, it basically, can you imagine if the engineer had a rocket jump and was able to get on a rooftop, how devastating that would be? I mean, that's what you have with the Peashooter. You've got the splash damage, you can get up top and have that advantage, and you really need to take advantage of that.
geez, that imp hunt,
Yeah.
just unreal.
Let's see if I can get this revive off. Oh, that's wasted.
So this is going to be our last game, guys. So if you have any more questions, just fire away. I'll do my best to answer them. And you get that guy. Unsuspecting zombie. You're right in their end zone, too.
I'm just worried that guy's still got a sprint tackle up. Here it comes.
You think so? I don't know.
Nope.
Maybe.
I'm always nervous around All-Stars. They scare me. I remember once upon a time, wow, this would be 6-7 months ago, The All-Star wasn't the monster he is now. But now they're scary. Oh, he missed.
When is the maple syrup snow map coming?
I think
No, it's canceled. Sorry.
Christmas has been canceled.
Christmas has been canceled. There's no maple syrup. I'm sorry, everyone. I let you down. I couldn't even imagine what a maple syrup map would be. Like, what? I don't even understand that. Like,
Maple syrup volcano?
yeah. Yeah. Do you want to be a level designer? It's a pretty good idea.
Pretty gross idea.
Okay, this is, fair question. What's your favorite console to play on, Jason?
Xbox One. I just like the controller more.
You like playing on the Xbone?
Yeah, I like the PS4 controller all right, but the Xbox One controller feels really natural to me.
Yeah, I prefer the PS4. I was kind of waiting for the PS4 for quite a while to sort of start playing at home, and I've been playing a lot more at home now. I didn't buy an Xbox One yet. I have one here at work, but
What is your problem?
I don't know.
I'm not one of these my console's the only console types, but I've been really impressed with the next gen consoles.
What about PC?
I play on PC a lot too.
Do you play more PC than you do Xbox?
No, because when I sit down on my PC, I've got so many other things that take up my time. I play a lot of Battlefield 4.
Oh yeah.
When I get on the console though, I tend to play a lot more Garden Warfare. I almost said Garden Ops. I don't play Garden Ops much, to be honest. No offense.
Yeah, none taken. It's not for the faint of heart.
No, it's I play it all day at work.
So we have a question here. This one's been asked quite a bit, and I guess we might as well answer it. I honestly don't know the answer to this question, but can you get up on the barn in Driftwood Shores? The giant, tall barn structure. I think it's on the first objective. Maybe on the second. There's a really tall red barn that's sitting on top.
No, you used to be able to. And I loved it, and Gord was mean and took it away.
I think it was for good reason.
Yeah, it was for good reason.
Probably not just gameplay reasons.
Well, the thing is that the plants couldn't get up there. Only the zombies.
That's right. I think it was only rocket jump accessible. Yeah.
For a while you could with the Peashooter, but they changed the terrain around it, so the Peashooter couldn't get up there, and so they took it away from both just to make it fair. That was my favorite cruel strategy on that map, was to flank around behind, get up on top of there, and make the plants' lives miserable, but no more.
So you're playing on Jewel Junction.
Jewel Junction, great map.
What's your favorite map in the game? Why don't we say that? What's your favorite? Let's start with Rush. What's your favorite? Gardens and Graveyards. What's your favorite Gardens and Graveyards map?
I really like Coastal, but I'm gonna have to say Cactus Canyon.
Cactus Canyon.
Cactus Canyon. I like it for two reasons. I think the objectives just feel a little bit tighter in terms of balance, where I don't feel that this objective favors the plants, this one the zombies. But more importantly, I like the fact that it's a little shorter. You've only got, 5 objectives on it, and I really like the minigame on that one. I find it tends to be really close. It can go either way. I just love that map.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite as well. For a while it was Main Street. But
Yeah, Main Street was good.
Yeah, I think the fact that, you kind of nailed it. Cactus Canyon is a bit shorter, so there's a little less, fatigue when you're playing Gardens and Graveyards.
So it's especially when you're playing as a plant. When you're playing as a plant on, say, Walnut Hills, and you're losing objective after objective after objective, it can feel disheartening to lose that many.
Just breaks your spirit.
Right. That many objectives in a row, it's hard to take.
Okay, so what about your favorite co-op deathmatch level? Now, don't hurt my feelings here.
No, my favorite is what's it called? Port Scallywag.
Okay,
I love that map. Especially the gargantuar mermaid thing at the
Oh,
front
yeah,
of the ship.
the mastheaded
It looks
boat, yeah.
amazing. I love that map.
Yeah,
Once again,
that map was actually thrown together very fast.
Very quickly,
Yeah,
yeah.
I had the idea in my head and I just did it really quickly.
No, that one plays out really well. It's my favorite in Garden Ops, and it's my favorite in like Team Vanquish or whatever. I find that in Team Vanquish you end up with these great fights around the boat in the middle. I love that map.
Well, thank you.
I should have said none. I don't.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite. I think Jewel Junction right now is my favorite.
Just because it's newer.
It's newer, but I also just, I think I kind of hit something with designing this map. I just hit something that felt really good.
You like the big building in the middle and.
Yeah, it's kind of got everything. It's, we developed. We learned a lot developing maps, and I think this one just kind of hit.
Oh, what have I done?
That was the longer train. 3 off.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah, we learned so much, like just building maps. So I think this one was kind of like near the end of our cycle. So we kind of brought everything together that we learned, and
it's similar to what I think made Cactus Canyon great. Is you can tell it's at the end of the cycle where everything we'd learned about the other maps helped with designing that one.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not going to survive. But oh, Cactus stood in my way and took one for the team. Got distracted there and noticed them arming. This mode too came together fairly quickly.
Yeah, we had the design and it was pretty like straightforward. We sort of knew what we wanted to do with it. So.
Ooh, nice tackle. Plays out really well. You get some really good games on this one as long as the teams are even. I find with this game, if your team is a little bit weaker than the other team, it can get away from you pretty quick. You have to really play together well.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because you don't get like all the time. You don't get like a landslide on one side. Like usually someone will get like one base, maybe two. It's pretty difficult to pull together and take out all the bases. You have to have pretty good teamwork.
Oh, hello, Chester.
Like if you're coordinating and you have the bomb and you actually just hold on to it and like hang out with your teammates for a second, you'll have a lot more success. But if you get the bomb and the timer's up there and you start to panic and you're like, oh no, this thing's gonna blow up, like, and you just run in there, like it's kind of a Hail Mary. You want to wait for some people to gather around you.
It's kind of true in general in the game that if you're by yourself, you're not necessarily doing it wrong, but you're taking a risk. As the zombies in Gardens and Graveyards, you should definitely wait for teammates to move in. In this mode, yeah, you get the bomb, don't run for the objective, you'll lose. Wait for your teammates to catch up to you. I'm not gonna make it. Hopefully that Chomper can finish them off.
It's actually a pretty good trick in this mode, and I've seen some of
Look at that tiny scientist. What happened? Sorry.
You didn't see anything. In this mode, like when you pick up the bomb, you get a heal.
Right.
So it's actually a pretty good trick to, like, if you're sitting by the bomb, like try to fight and not pick it up, and then grab it and like win the fight because you'll get some health. So there's some strategy around just like waiting for the bomb. I know a lot of people freak out and try to grab it right away because
also don't
it's
be
the
selfish.
objective. But
like if you know your teammate's hurt, let them grab it.
Yeah, why not? I'd never do that.
I do.
Especially, I need the coins.
The other thing is Chompers. They have more hit points. You don't get to use your abilities to go faster, so there's no advantage to a Peashooter grabbing it. There's no advantage to a Sunflower grabbing it. Instead, let the Chomper grab it so that the Sunflower can follow and heal him.
Yeah, there you go. High level play.
High level.
Let the higher health players grab the bomb.
Whoa!
Or get knocked into the zone by someone on the other team. Go plant at sea, man.
That was amazing.
No one's there. Oh, not fast enough.
They tackle did too much damage, but that was awesome.
Yeah, I've seen that happen a couple times. You get tackled and then go flying into the base and just capture it.
So they're going to hand it to you on a silver platter like that. You might as well. This has been a
Pretty back and forth here, yeah.
Oh, I got him. So one of the cactuses in our team is doing a really good job right now. You get in the drone, and because it can go everywhere so quickly, you can cover the bomb really effectively. And people aren't really looking for drones in this mode. I find you get a lot of kills with it.
Here's a question kind of aimed at me. How many people work on a map, and how long does it take to make a map? So, when you're building a level for a game like this, it kind of goes through a couple stages. There's quite a few people that actually get hands-on with the map. Like, it'll go first through a stage that we call just like layout, which is just a sort of 2D drawn layout that just sort of brings about the ideas and the space and just sort of shows it from a very high level, like what it might look like. And then that gets approved by the world team, who are all the artists, and it gets approved by some of the other designers, and that's kind of like a spitball stage. Like, it goes back and forth. And then once we're pretty set on it, I'll get into actually building it. So you kind of start with just very simple geometry. There's no textures, no
boxes.
Yeah, it's just boxes, right? So you start very fast, very iterative, and just build, boxes, ramps, like everything really quick, and it sort of takes the shape of your layout, and you might put in like a little piece of art here and there to sort of give it like the vibe and the vibe you're going for. Then we play it, and we just play it and play it and play it, and that involves the entire team. So
it feels weird to play it when it's just boxes like that.
Yeah. A lot of the feedback you get is like, this just looks like boxes. And it's like, well, yeah, man, that's...
I remember when
that's
this map was just boxes, and I wasn't sold on it. It felt weird. As soon as the art team started putting in the buildings and making it look the way it does now, I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
It looks so great.
So once we get through that stage, we play it and we find all the little problems with it, and add paths or remove paths, add different sniper points, add different points of contest, take some away, and once we're happy with the space, we send it over to the world team, and they start to basically take the geometry that I've put in and change it with art, right? So what was a box is now a house, and what was a cylinder is now a water tower or whatever, and that starts to go in stages. And while they're doing that, we play test as well with the entire team to make sure that some of the stuff they're adding isn't sort of like breaking what we had put in originally, but they're very, very good at like doing their job, so that doesn't happen very often. So after that, they go through their final stages, and we do lighting, decals, VFX, world VFX, all that stuff, and it goes through just tons and tons of iterations. So by the end of it, the entire team has kind of had their hands in the map.
Testers spend hours and hours and hours trying to find every nook and cranny.
Exactly, like that's where your team comes in, is like where can you get stuck? Like a lot of the times we'll miss some spots, and there'll be like a sign that all of a sudden now the Gargantuar can't fit between this sign and the wall or whatever. So it's a lot of back and forth, and then once we're done, it's kind of final, and we sort of lock it out, and then we just wait for like the odd bug to come back in. And on top of that, we're like putting the game modes inside the map and placing spawn points. Like it's a very, very big process.
It's involved, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it can take anywhere from like 3 months to 4 months. Sort of heads down, just cranking on it. The Gardens and Graveyards map take quite a bit more time, but they're like 3 times the scale.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah. So that's the stream.
That's
yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks for joining, everyone. Thanks for watching. My name's Jeff Shaw. You can follow me on Twitter at ShobsBox. It's how it sounds. And I've been joined by
Jason Gertson. You can't follow me on Twitter.
Can't follow him on Twitter, so don't even try.
Don't even try.
Yeah, so thanks to Roland and Gary for moderating the chat, and happy Friday, everyone. See you around. I guess we're going to do another one
Thanks, it's been
sometime
fun.
soon. It has been fun, hasn't it?
It has. I love this game.